Welcome, Mr. Gallagher. How are you?
I'm very well.
You've been on tour with the High Flying Birds for like this entire year, right?
Yeah, since last October.
Were you scared to take that project on the road? Because it might feel different from Oasis?
I was kind of a bit treading with baby steps with it. But I'd rehearsed for so long that when it came to the first gig, I knew we sounded pretty good. So once the first gig was out of the way, I've absolutely loved it ever since.
You don't have to prove anything to anyone. Does that give you a sort of freedom that you maybe didn't have when you guys started out with Oasis? Now, with the High Flying Birds, is that you could just do it for love now, right?
Oh yeah, man, I know what you mean. I've got to prove it to my wife. She's the biggest critic of mine. Seriously, she was the only one when I, played the single "What a Life." Everybody loves that single. She was like, "Yeah, really? I don't know." Yeah, so I look back on my time in Oasis as really magnificent. I've got great memories, and it's not something I ever want to try and recreate. This is now, and I don't mind starting at the bottom or whatever it is. I have no career ego with this. Just make records, put them out, have a good time, buy a new house from time to time. I just do it because it's what I do, and other people decide whether it's great or not. I don't really mind if people think it's not as good as Oasis, fine. Sometimes I don't think it's as good as Oasis. If people think it's better, that's fine. Everybody's opinion is valid. I love it, the end,
What mistakes are you not making this second time around?
I think it's just timing between albums. In Oasis, Liam would always be the one that would push us back into the studio because he was quite a restless character and he liked being in the band kind of thing, do you know what I mean? The rest of me in particular would always be the last one to commit. I like being at home and watching football and smoking cigarettes and drinking tea, and I won't go into the studio until I really feel that I've got stuff people need to hear, do you know what I mean? Other than that, I'm quite content sitting at home.
But you was like, you went to the studio when you felt ready for it, not because you felt the pressure or you felt this or that.
Well, I'm an independent artist now, so for the first time ever, I'm not really beholden to any record label. So I just do it on my terms, at my speed. I think that's the greatest thing, to have that freedom, just to be able to live a little, and then when you want to be a rock star, be a rock star.
One last question. When was the last time you were scared to lose it? When you were standing on a stage and people just go crazy and you're like, ugh.
I only lose it at football. The last time I lost it was when Man City won the league in May of this year, and I supported that team for 40 years, and we were watching it in a bar in Chile because we were on tour. And to see that 5 minutes unfold was just breathtaking, and I welled up, and I was kind of like I had to hold it together. And at the birth of my children, you get a little bit overwhelmed, but other than that, people don't want you to go. And people, that come to concerts, they're ordinary people. They work for a living. They don't want to come and see somebody on stage who's frightened of being there, who's cowed by them. They want to see somebody who's larger than life. And I'm saying I'm Ziggy Stardust or Mick Jagger, but I'm not frightened of it. They're here to see me, and the best person at being me in this field is me. So what could possibly go wrong? I will probably have the worst gig of my entire career this afternoon. Now I've said that, but
I'm sure you won't.
But I'll kind of blag it. I'll blag it.
Okay.
Yeah, nice.
Thank you so much, Noel. Really, thank you.
I dedicate the next song to all of my